run. Don't walk to Barnes & Noble. Here are 5 books you need to read right now. Number 1 is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. This dystopian novel follows Katniss Everdeen.
Spice level?
Excuse me?
What's the spice level?
I'm sorry. I don't know what you mean.
Oh my god, is there smut or not?
In The Hunger Games? This is a YA book. Anyway, The Hunger Games is about 16-year-old Katniss Everdeen, who's forced to fight 23 other teenagers to the death on national TV. She's from the poorest of the 12 districts
Like Survivor.
What?
Just to survive in the woods against a bunch of people, like in Survivor. I love that show.
Oh, no, it's not like that. This trilogy actually explores some pretty heavy themes like class warfare, oppression, propaganda,
And purchased. Sounds fun. I can't wait to devour this.
Did you miss the part where I said teenagers are fighting to the death?
Alrighty, well, hello, sinners.
How are you? If you could only take away one thing from today's video, let it be this. Never ask a woman her age, a man his salary, or a BookToker who they voted for. BookTok. We meet again. It's a shame we only meet under unfortunate circumstances on my channel because I love BookTok. I've been an avid reader since I was a kid, probably because my parents read me bedtime stories every night. My 9-year-old self would have gone to war for Miss Juniper B. Jones. And if you must know, the B stands for Beatrice, except she doesn't like Beatrice. She just likes B, that's all. And if you don't mind me being vulnerable for a second, I plowed through at least 2 of the Warrior Cat series in 4th grade. I ate that shit up. So finding out that Aaron Hunter was just a pseudonym for a group of 6 authors was the 2008 version of Zayn leaving One Direction for me. Then in my teen years, I got into novels like The Hunger Games and Divergent. Obviously, you know, those books were everywhere. But I also enjoyed books like The Giver, The Legend Trilogy, The Maze Runner, and Unwind. This is also the time I became a fan of BookTube and started reading even more. I stopped reading for fun in college, but when I picked up books again a couple years ago, it felt like reconnecting to my childhood self. And BookTok is a massive factor in my rekindled love of reading. I would have never discovered some of my favorite titles if it wasn't for BookTok, and I know I'm not the only one. Objectively speaking, BookTok has saved the publishing industry. In 2020 alone, Barnes & Noble saw a 14% increase in book sales. This was also the year BookTok picked up steam. Nowadays, you throw a rock into any Barnes & Noble store and you'll hit at least 4 different BookTok displays. In addition, many authors have shared that the sales of books they published years ago increased significantly because of BookTok recommendations. Overall, I'm glad the BookTok community exists, and I think they get a lot of for no reason. Most of the time. Anything encouraging people to read more will always be a net positive. With that being said, a lot of BookTok discourse irritates me. This isn't exclusive to BookTok, of course, but my fellow internet veterans know that once the conversation turns political, things can and will go from bad to worse, which is actually what people have been arguing about. Should readers leave politics out of BookTok? This debate stemmed from a larger online discussion that popped up post-election. Democratic voters fled to the internet to express their disgust and fear over the election results. How anyone can celebrate Trump's re-election is beyond me, considering what's at stake over the next 4 years. Healthcare, bodily autonomy, LGBTQ rights, voter suppression, immigration, the economy, climate change. You get the idea. So, a lot of leftist creators compiled lists of public figures who voted for Trump and encouraged their followers to block these people in order to avoid engaging with their content, even if it is to disagree with them. Why is that? Because views equal money. Views equal attention, and the less money and attention we give these people, the better. Granted, this is the bare minimum we should be doing, but some people like to think that blocking Logan Paul and buying a $30 blue bracelet from Etsy makes them the next freedom fighter. None of these lists surprise me. They contained all the usual suspects, people I would have never followed in the first place. What caught me off guard though was the number of users who were shocked at some of the names, like Nara Smith, you know, the trad wife with a Mormon husband named Lucky Blue. A blade of grass could have put 2 and 2 together. Before we continue, I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Intimina. What I love about Intimina is their dedication to being a reliable source for all their consumers' intimate health needs. They realize that shopping for these kinds of products is about more than the purchase. It's about feeling empowered and practicing self-care for your long-term health and happiness. With Black Friday approaching, now is the best time to invest in your reproductive health, and you can start by trying Intimina's Bloom period underwear. This underwear is perfect for those who want to use eco-friendly menstrual products but are too intimidated to try something like the Lily Cup. They are chemical-free mid-waist briefs made of organic cotton, available in sizes XS to XXL. Not only are they cute and comfortable, but the Bloom period underwear also holds up to 3 tampons worth of blood, so you don't have to worry about leaks. If you want to give the Bloom period underwear or any of Intimina's products a shot, click the link below and check out all the amazing deals and gifts with purchase they're offering this Black Friday. And by using my code AnnamarieBF10 at checkout, you can save even more money. What are you waiting for? That's AnnamarieBF10 when you click the link at the top of my description. So thank you to Intimina for ensuring that my sinners and I will always feel fresh and secure throughout our cycles this holiday season. Now let's get back to your scheduled programming. Meanwhile, other TikTok communities followed suit, like BookTok. Creators like Mia here publicly stated that they will not be buying books from authors who voted for Trump, and viewers suggested that someone should make an official spreadsheet. So Mia collaborated with other BookTok users to create this master list.
We need a list. We need a list. You are correct. You do need a list, and your wish is my command. In my bio right now is a list of authors that didn't vote against your human rights. Some did, some didn't. You get to decide who you want to support from now on, because the list is in my bio. Now, you guys, I didn't create the list. So I want everyone in the comment section below to say thank you, Shannon, because Shannon is the one who took time out of her day to create the list. Like, you guys, it's an incredible list.
So readers started submitting names for this quote-unquote red list, many of which were verified by authors' social media posts or their likes. However, others pointed out that several authors were only added out of suspicion of voting red. To be fair, the creators could have done better to verify each claim, but this was also a significant project and they didn't expect it to gain this much traction.
The problem that me and Shannon ran into was the fact that we originally intended for this list to be our own personal list, which means it was biased. And then my video blew up and everybody asked for the list. Everybody was asking for the list. I was receiving thousands of comments asking for it. So I just put it out there without even thinking about the fact that that list is public, for one, and extremely biased.
So 2 days later, they edited the list to make it more unbiased and apologized for their missteps.
It is my bad that I did not distinguish between the ones that are suspected supporters of either candidate and the ones that are confirmed. I'm looking at fixing that. You gotta give me some time. I will now be not only highlighting the row of the individual in either blue or red, but I will also be putting a note of suspected in the comments.
So now we have links to prove everything that we said. And if we don't know, we simply put it as unknown. And if we do know and we did see it with our own eyes, we do still say Kamala supporting. And then if we cannot find a link, we just say, no, it's not confirmed. So then people know that way as well.
Since Mia and Shannon responded, the list has been taken down, though I'm not sure if it was them or Google who made that decision. Ultimately, it no longer exists, so I couldn't confirm which authors were red-listed. Not that it mattered anyway, because numerous red-listed authors would self-report in the coming days. One of these people referred to herself and other red-listed authors as the Katniss Everdeens of the world. I hate to burst your bubble, but if you're an American, you live in the capital, and that goes for any first world nation. I've seen a few people compare Trump and Clinton to President Snow and President Coin, and chat, I'm afraid they cooked. It's getting hot in here, but don't take off all your clothes. That's weird. Surprisingly, that was one of the tamer reactions. Another author compared being red-listed to not. She's not comparing personal boycotts to genocide, right? Surely we must have read that wrong. No, seriously, have they never taken a history class? Have you? And then they tell us we are erasing history. Open the schools! Ideally before Trump disbands the Department of Education. It's always two dumb just telling each other exactly. Mind you, this is the same party who tried to boycott M&M's because one of its candy mascots wasn't as sexy anymore.
When you're totally turned off, we've achieved equity. They've won. Also less sexy.
Come to think of it, you know who else made lists? Santa Claus. Guess he's a Nazi now. And also a communist. Can't forget that one. By the way, you're not undesirable. You're just annoying. I've been doing commentary for almost 5 years now, so I've covered some dumb people in my day. But this is easily among the top 5 worst takes I've ever covered. So congratulations, you outdid yourself. And of course, the conservative white women of BookTok rallied around these red-listed authors like, exactly! Some even accused the red list of inciting a quote-unquote witch hunt. Simultaneously, a lot of readers wondered why this was even a discussion because BookTok's not a political place, it's just about books.
When did BookTok become political? Because I am so sick of seeing these reader unfollow parties. You guys, we are here to share books that we all enjoy. We're here to make friends, grow a community. We don't need hate in this community, and we don't need politics ruining a good thing that we have going.
But my dad used to tell me this saying where there are 3 things that you don't talk about. That's money, religion, and politics.
I don't like talking about anything political, social, economical, whatever on BookTok. Why? Because BookTok is for books.
Avoiding drama doesn't mean that I'm scared of you. I have anger issues. I'm avoiding jail.
I gotta show you this comment too. This stuff is sick. I want a BookTok where I can just chill talk 18th century novels / sci-fi dystopian societies. That was not the BookTok I found. So I know you read dystopians, but have you tried absorbing the words on the page? And then there's this person who, at the very least, has a summer home in La La Land.
Just woke up to see that President Trump was reelected, and that means that $10 paperbacks are back on the way. I'm sick of the $20 in your favorite kneecap. Bring back $10 paperback books. That's my concern. Ugh, bring them back.
She's right. Books are expensive nowadays. Everything is expensive nowadays. So let me propose a solution. Go to your local library. Oh wait, I forgot. You voted for the guy who wants to defund libraries. And once Trump instates those tariffs, you're gonna miss your $20 paperbacks. As I mentioned before, I grew up on YA dystopian books. That and fantasy are still my top 2 favorite genres. So as a dystopian and fantasy reader, this sentiment boggles my mind. I'm gonna be honest. Based on the most recommended book titles alone, why is this being brought up?
According to Goodreads' Best Books from BookTok list, 3 of the top 10 are from the ACOTAR series by Sarah J. Maas, which follows a huntress who learns that everything she's been told about a specific population is a lie. The book in second place, 6 of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, has themes of prejudice, fascism, discrimination, injustice, sexuality, and xenophobia. The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, at number 4, is about a 17-year-old who is kidnapped by her corrupt government after they murdered her parents. You get the idea. So if these creators don't want to talk about politics, then perhaps the Hungry Caterpillar is more their speed. Even then though, BookTok would still be a political space because the act of reading is political. Authoritarian leaders have used censorship to exert power for thousands of years, and book burning has been the most common method. For instance, in the Old Testament, the Hebrew prophet Jeremiah wrote that the king of Babylon would be the demise of Judah. Jeremiah's scroll would later be burned by the king of Judah, leading to his arrest. And this took place around the 7th century BCE. Then, in the 2nd century BCE, the first emperor of the Qin dynasty ordered the destruction of old documents and their authors that threatened his rule. Mao Zedong, the founder of the People's Republic of China, referenced this emperor burning the books and burying the scholars in a speech. The first emperor only buried 460 alive scholars, while we've buried 46,000. When we suppressed counter-revolutionaries, didn't we also kill some counter-revolutionary intellectuals? I once debated with people in the Democratic parties. You accuse us of acting like the first emperor, but you're wrong. We've outdone him 100 times over. He also held public book burnings. A more well-known example is the burning of the Library of Alexandria in 48 BCE by Julius Caesar's army, or so they say. Caesar ordered his men to set fire to the enemy fleet in Egypt because they had no other option. But the fire got out of hand, and the rest is history. However, the Library of Alexandria wasn't fully destroyed until the 3rd century CE.
Because of Caesar, great works from scholars like Eratosthenes, that name is kicking my ass, Eratosthenes, who measured the Earth's circumference, and Hipparchus, the founder of trigonometry, were lost. We could have gone without trigonometry, but yeah. No wonder why the bitch was stabbed. Book burning was also a strategy used by the Nazi Party. On May 10th, 1933, university students across 34 German towns burned over 25,000 books by Jewish authors like Freud and Einstein. Paul Joseph Goebbels, Reich Minister of Public Enlightenment and Propaganda, said, "The era of extreme Jewish intellectualism is now at an end. The future German man will not just be a man of books, but a man of character. It is to this end that we want to educate you, and thus you do well in this midnight hour to commit to the flames the evil spirit of the past." In a Facebook live stream on February 4th, 2022, right-wing pastor and nutjob Greg Locke ordered his followers to burn evil garbage like Harry Potter and Twilight because of witchcraft and sorcery.
Devilish stuff. We got every bit of kind of witchcraft, spell books, everything you can imagine. And this thing is full. So we got clothes, a lot of things. So if you need to get rid of it, as close as you can get, just start throwing it in there.
He posted this long explanation days before to his Instagram, and I ain't reading all that, but it's just as unhinged as you think. Literacy, or lack thereof, has also been used as a tool to suppress people. From 1740 to 1834, teaching black people to read and write was illegal in 7 U.S. states, and the crime was punishable by a 100-pound fine and 6 months in prison. You'd think humanity would have learned from their past mistakes, but history repeats itself. It surely does. For those who are not tuned into American politics, Republicans, especially the Trump administration, want to enact a national book ban, and so far, they're succeeding. You would think BookTok would want to speak out against a potential book ban because this is a community of readers, you know. You guys allegedly like books. You want to read the books you want. PEN America recorded over 10,000 book bans in the 2023 to 2024 school year across 29 states and 220 public school districts. 44% of those books featured people of color, and 39% had LGBTQ+ characters. A few of the most frequently banned titles include The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison, Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck, To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, and I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. Important pieces of literature, you know, stuff we all read in high school. Several states have introduced bills to restrict even more material, most notably Florida. The Florida Department of Education has over 700 novels on its banned books list. Finally, we must address the elephant in the room. Project 2025. In a nutshell, Project 2025 is a 900-page manifesto detailing Trump's second presidency, backed by the Heritage Foundation. Abortion, education, LGBTQ rights, immigration, and more will be at risk as soon as Trump takes office. The 4 pillars of Project 2025 are to restore the family as the centerpiece of American life to protect our children, dismantle the administrative state and return self-governance to the American people, defend our nation's sovereignty, borders, and bounty against global threats, and secure our God-given individual right to enjoy the blessings of liberty. There are also plans to codify a national book ban. Therefore, it's disingenuous to say that BookTok should be an apolitical space because books are inherently political. The government knows that an educated population is harder to control. One last thing. I've seen users correlate recent events with the rise of quote-unquote anti-intellectualism on BookTok, which is the phenomenon of BookTokers offering nothing more than surface-level observations of books.
A great example of this would be, a few weeks ago, I saw 2 videos on my For You page quite far apart from each other, both of which were recommending the Poppy War. The first one was a video telling you what the book was about, telling you all of the different themes, the genres, the tropes, telling you what this creator loved about the book, and the second video was someone recommending the Poppy War as a book with a powerful female protagonist. Both things are true. However, to absolutize the Poppy War into just a book about a powerful female protagonist, rather than the incredibly complex, quite traumatizing, very dark topic of what it actually is and how beautiful and difficult it is to create a book like that, to just a female, like a strong female character, is infuriating.
This concept took off around the same time a different BookToker went viral for complaining that the book she was reading had too many words on the page.
I do have an update for you. I actually got through a lot of Six of Crows yesterday. I'm on page 155 now, and the only reason I got through so much of this book is because I was reading it on the Kindle. Because once again, the tiny words and how many words there are per page wasn't doing it for me.
I will say that a few commenters claimed that this creator's first language isn't English, so keep that in mind. And in all fairness, reading on a Kindle is much faster. I love mine. But I've seen similar videos of BookTokers saying they skip the long paragraphs to get to the dialogue or the sex scenes. Read how you want, obviously, but at that point, you might as well watch a movie. On the same token, I've realized that some people strictly read for fun without further analysis. I know that sounds dumb, but let me explain. A lot of readers in the wake of this discourse explained that they view books as a form of escapism and, by extension, book talk. That's why they want to avoid politics. I think it's fine if you want to read just for fun, for the vibes. You know, reading should be an enjoyable experience. Otherwise, what's the point? The problem comes when you refuse to look deeper, when you refuse to look at a piece of media through a critical lens. And part of that may come from inexperience. Like I said, BookTok revitalized the publishing industry. It's been many people's gateway into reading outside of an academic setting, so they could still be finding out their taste. That's arguably the best part of reading. Another reason could be that social media is absolutely frying our attention spans. If we don't get the answer in a 5-second TikTok, oh well, guess we'll never know. On a cynical note, I think this situation today comes down to readers being willfully obtuse. If it's not affecting them, they don't care. And when you call out their apathy, suddenly you're a bully, you're mean, you're not nice, you're making BookTok a negative space. In conclusion, support your local library. Go sign up for a library card if you haven't already, and drop your banned book recommendations in the comments, as if my TBR isn't long enough. And support marginalized authors while you're at it. I'm very curious to hear what you have to say about the BookTok and politics discourse, so please leave any and all your thoughts down below. If there's any other BookTok drama you'd like me to cover in the future, let me know as well. And in general, if there's anything in particular you'd like me to talk about in a video, I have a Google form linked in the description where you could submit your video ideas. But thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a tiny thumbs up and subscribe down below. Thank you to Annamarie for sponsoring. I love you guys, and I'll see you very soon with a